Hey everybody, this is Kamal, the CEO of OfficeLogix. I'm going to answer a question that I get all the time when people come into the showroom. You have the top two tiers of the office chairs, the Aeron and the Embody, and everyone asks which one's better. I'm going to use the Aeron Remastered with the highest levels of features to compare with the Embody, and we're going to use the newest version of the Embody chair, which is the gaming one. We're going to look at the posture fit because it's very unique and different compared to the Embody because it's adjustable in a way that it goes through the suspension mesh. What's very unique about it is that you have the ability through the dial on the back to adjust the pressure in and out. And that's really advantageous if you want to fine tune and calibrate to a very precise level the amount of adjustment that you want and pressure through the back. The Embody lumbar adjustment, unlike the Aeron though, the whole back adjusts forward and backwards to support your back. So if you like an entire back to be supported, so that's where an Embody's maybe advantageous for someone that likes entire complete back support. The next feature we're going to look at, and this is one I think the Aeron Remastered has an advantage over the Embody, and it's the arms. The arms, they go up and down, and they also pivot in and out. They also vertically slide in the remastered versions. And this is something that's very advantageous compared to the Embody, which we'll see later on, because the Embody doesn't have that much of a wide range of motion for their arms. We're going to look at the Embody. The arms going all the way in, all the way out, which is nice. They can move out of the way if it have legs under it or something underneath the arms, but they do not pivot in any way, shape, or form. They do not slide horizontally or vertically, so that level of adjustment is not there. Next, we're going to move on to the height. The height is a very standard up and down through the right side lever above the tension control. You're also going to notice the Embody has the height lever adjustment, which is pretty standard also on the right side. However, it's hidden aesthetically. It's kind of nice in the tension control with a little simple small joystick. So sometimes people think that there isn't any height adjustment control, but there really is, and it's just hidden there. Nonetheless, it has an aesthetic advantage there. So the tension control is very nice because it is very sensitive. It's an improvement over the Aeron Classic. When you really turn up the tension, I have to muscle through or have someone push me back to really get it to go back, even at above average weight. So this is a size B, so it should handle up to slightly over 300 pounds. When you turn off the tension, it's very sensitive as well. You have that free motion backwards as if you're flying back. So it's usually something that you want to put somewhere in the middle in order to have it resist your weight and also assist you back up when you're leaning forward again. The tension control, and it's also very sensitive. Maybe not as sensitive as the Aeron. It's still, however, very responsive. So it's something that's going to be probably equal on both sides. The biggest advantage that the Aeron Remastered has over the Embody is the forward tilt control. And this is because it's a very sensitive forward tilt control, which is drastically improved over the Aeron Classic. Tilt lock, you have the fully upright position at 90 degrees, 110, 120. The various degrees of locking here you'll see is at 90 degrees is all the way upright, 110, 120. And this is the biggest advantage the Embody has is the seat depth. So the seat depth, which are these two handles in the front, can be controlled by lifting slightly your legs above. It's really some weight from the front of the edge, and then pushing the handles forward. That allows an extension of about 1.5 to 2 inches, and then pushing it backwards, decrease in extension of the 1.5 or 2 inches. The ability to have a very wide depth in addition to the width of the seat that's not encumbered by a plastic frame, because when you are sitting cross-legged, which a lot of people do if they're sitting very long periods of time, they're going to put both legs up, and if you do that with the Aeron, you're going to notice the frame, even though you fit perfectly fine, the frame will dig into your thighs, and it's okay for a couple minutes. But if you do that for an extended period of time, you're going to start to notice a pinching of nerves and maybe some blood vessels, and you're going to start feeling like your legs may be numb.
So let's take a quick look at each category and decide who's the winner. Of course, there's no ultimate chair. However, you can use this as a guide according to your own needs. Starting with the arms adjustability. There was one chair with the ability to pivot arm pads, slide vertically, in addition to height adjustment. And that is the Aeron Remastered. The Embody arms are restricted in comparison. Next, the tension control. This is actually a tie since both chairs are responsive. In the Aeron's case, the high tension truly supports weight and requires manual force to move backwards. As for the Embody, it's easily accessible with rubber gripping handle. Manual force is required to angle backwards when on highest tension. We can see another tie in the height control. It's easy accessible on both chairs and does what's supposed to do. The only extra thing in how it's aesthetically more interesting in the Embody. As for the seat depth, a clear winner here is the Embody chair. There's no seat depth adjustment in the Aeron and is compensated by having multiple Aeron sizes, so you won't be able to have various people sizes and heights sitting comfortably in the same chair. The Embody, however, has the ability to increase and decrease the seat depth by extending and shrinking the length of the seat by 1.5 inches, by pushing out or pulling in the edge of the seat, allowing various heights of people to adjust comfortably. Continuing with the seat, being able to sit cross-legged won't be much comfortable in the Aeron chair, and that's despite what size you have. It will likely cause pinching and some pain due to the thighs making contact with the plastic frame of the seat pan. In this case, the Embody is also a clear winner in this category. The massive seat width of the Embody, just above 29 inches, takes the truest form of usability as there is no frame to mention, and the fabric and underlaying foam support goes edge to edge. The arms can be pushed out and raised so that a user sits cross-legged with one or both legs. As for the back support, the Posture Fit SL can crown the Aeron as the winner here. The Posture Fit supports sacro-lumbar SL area through pads directly through the mesh and allows adjustability of pressure on or off the SL focal points. The Embody's lumbar support is also good, but you can only adjust the lumbar by adjusting the entire positioning of the back either forward or backward. And the suspension style of the flexible back would allow the back to conform to the back shape but still without focal support for the sensitive SL area. When it comes to the tilt lock, it's also a clear tie. Both have multiple angle tilt locking abilities and are very effective and stable. Finally, the forward tilt. Since this feature is not available in the Embody to begin with, the Aeron is the winner here. The forward tilt is amazingly responsive and even better than the forward tilt on the classic Aeron. It's very pronounced and highly supportive in terms of seating in a position that leans forward. In conclusion, whether it's the Aeron Remastered or Embody, each chair has its own perks. So when considering one of the other, it will solely depend on what features you think are most important to your daily use. Although, one thing we can't argue about is getting a renewed Aeron or Embody chair from OfficeLogixShop.com, since we offer these chairs for an amazing price along with our ergonomic Aeron and Embody headrests. Please feel free to leave us a comment if you'd like us to do a similar review of any other chairs.